guys, it's Lizzie. So this is a really serious video. I've known I needed to make it for a year and a half. I wrote out the whole video a few months ago and it's really terrifying because I know people who are in my life are going to watch this and they're the people I tried to protect the most from all of this. I know people put trigger warnings before videos like this, so if you are wanting to kill yourself right now, please either watch the entire video or click out of the video. So first I'm going to talk about my experience with it, then I'm going to share what to do if you are suicidal, and then the third part is how to help a friend who is suicidal, prevent them from going through with it, and how to save their life. Suicidal thinking was the most scarring part of depression for me, just because I'm a very happy, vibrant, positive person. I have so much hope and joy for life, and I really thought I could make this. I just never could have imagined that I would be having thinking. I never could have imagined that I would be someone dealing with this, and so having this type of thinking, not only involuntarily but also as a logical thing, was terrifying in the moment, terrifying, and looking back it's something that I don't want to remember and I never ever want to go through it again. So when I first got depression, I would wake up cursing myself out, and it was really scary because they were words I've never used to talk to anyone else, to talk to myself. Sometimes it was just pointless cursing, but sometimes there were kind of words that went along with it, kind of like you being worthless or you should die. And I want to emphasize that this is not something that I was thinking or thought. I had a really high self-esteem at the time, and right when I got depression, I thought my life was amazing, and that year, the 2 years I had depression were 2 of the best years of my life because of all my friends and everything going on. I remember when I was going to make this video, there were 2 more examples, like specific examples that I experienced the fall of my senior year of college, and I can't even remember them now because I have like extreme memory loss from the whole time I was in depression. I just cannot remember. I can't remember a lot. I can't remember a lot of memories of my friends and my classes and just everything. A lot of people look back and say they can't remember things, but in depression you cannot remember. It's a lot different than the way people say they forget things. Again, if you are suicidal right now, watch the entire video, or leave right now. So what I do remember, another time I was in bad depression and I was going by myself. I was praying behind the chapel of our school, which is somewhere I would go a lot just in general to pray in college, and there was like a voice like telling me to jump off, and it would not have killed me. It was kind of a hill, there were trees, it may have hurt me, but it was nothing like that would have killed me. But again, it was just like I was standing there and it was just a voice almost like commanding me, telling me, and it had nothing to do with my perspective on life or myself. It was just like a voice. And I think I'm extremely lucky that during this whole time I had amazing friends and I had a really good life, and I understand why a lot of people kill themselves. I feel like if they have these voices. Another time that I remember that was probably the scariest is I was manic and then I immediately crashed into depression, and I think there's such a high suicide rate in bipolar just because you'll immediately go from mania to depression without any buildup into really severe depression, just immediately. And that happened, and I remember texting to my best friends and just saying I need to be around someone right now. One of my friends came out of her class and she met me immediately and she just held me and I cried, and then she kind of passed me off to one of my guy friends, and then one of my other friends came as soon as possible. And I remember it was this really bad derealization where I felt completely outside of reality, like a phantom or a ghost, and it's like you hear and see everything and it's almost like you're underwater, like you're not I don't know, it's almost as if everything is far away, like you know it's close, but it's like people aren't really touching you, they're not really talking, it's slow and it's far away and it's almost blurry. That was happening, and I remember thinking in that moment that if this was something that happened for a long time, happened consistently, that I would want to kill myself. I wouldn't want to live, just because it's not, you're not there, like you're not fully there. And I think a huge misconception about suicide is people will say, I don't want to go on living like this, and other people say, oh, it will get better, and it has nothing to do with the circumstances. I think sometimes it does, but I think other types of suicide have to do with, like, mentally, like your brain is shut down so far that it's like you're in like a vegetative type state where you're not able to make decisions or think or feel or even be aware fully of everything around you. That was something logical rather than just an impulse or a voice, and so it was really, really scary and scarring. And I remember praying right after, not for anything in particular, but just like for help, for God to help me. And the next day or 2 days later, I was in kind of like a club convo type thing with a professor and 2 other students, and I didn't know the students, but the professor was one of my favorite professors, and he was talking about his dad, who said something about how if he had Alzheimer's, he would want to do physician-assisted suicide because he wouldn't want to keep living if he was losing parts of his brain. And I remember my professor was so angry, like he was just expressing like anger in what he had said to his dad, just saying that life is like you're walking up a mountain with people and you're there for other people, not for you. And it was like it clicked for me, and I realized that it's not all about what I'm feeling and my perception of life and me not fully being here, but all my friends. And the whole time I had depression, bipolar, a lot of people doubted how bad it was. Like everyone in my life, they either denied it when I told them, or they didn't understand the extent of it, denied a lot of the symptoms along the way. The next day after that, I was with one of my friends and I was kind of doing a photo shoot for her. I remember telling her that my depression was so bad that day. It was still the derealization thing was there. I remember her saying, no, like you seem fine. And I remember thinking that even if the derealization thing was for the rest of my life, I would want to stay alive for my friends, and maybe I wouldn't be strong enough to do that, but that's something that really, really helped me with like logically understanding it. But that's something that I hope can help you as well. People see you as a lot more alive than you seem, and I think the autopilot causes you to fake your personality in a way to where people think that you're normal and you're okay. So now I'm going to get into what to do if you have had suicidal thoughts or if you are suicidal. What really helped me, if you have bipolar, there's a book called Welcome to the Jungle, and I listened to it as an audiobook. There's a whole chapter about suicidal thinking, and it was so comforting to read because she basically said that it's normal, it's just a symptom of depression, and it's going to happen. Like I said, for me it was terrifying that I could have thoughts like that, and I don't want to normalize suicide or suicidal thinking, but in major depression and in bipolar disorder, wanting to kill yourself is a symptom of the illness, just how having a fever is a symptom of having the flu. It's something that is going to happen regardless of how much you fight it, how medicated you are, how positive you are about your life. It's going to happen. And so yes, take it seriously, but also don't be so overwhelmed by it that you're not able to take measures to prevent it. So what I did is I had a note on my phone with kind of a to-do, like jotted bullet point list of what to do if I am seriously suicidal. I had a suicide hotline number, I had to call the ER, I knew which friend I would call, and I recommend having a list of multiple friends, really prioritizing having someone you can call who you can immediately physically be with. And I think that if you have major depression, bipolar as like a lifelong illness diagnosis, then you need to coach your family members, friends on what to do when that happens. But primarily, you need to talk to your psychiatrist and therapist about it because they are trained in helping you through it and protecting your life. And one thing I love about psychiatrists is when you tell them that you've been suicidal, it's almost like a questionnaire survey type thing, and they don't react because to them it's normal. It's just a symptom of the illness they are treating. So I just think that it is a delicate balance of when to share and when to not. But I think that definitely have phone numbers of who you will call, be honest with your psychiatrist, always call a suicide hotline, immediately call a friend if you're thinking of actual ways to do it. Definitely call people, but make sure to not threaten people with it, and make sure to have several people in your life who can help you with this. Do not rely on one person, because one person cannot handle the burden of all of that. And so something else I want you to know, if you have a friend who is suicidal or you know someone who did, it is almost like this incapacity to think of your friends and how you'd be affecting them with all of the types of suicidal thinking I just described. I have 3 guy best friends, and each of them have had a friend who killed himself, and I know all of this information. When I was in my depression, one of my friends had a friend he grew up with kill himself, and so I know how much this has affected people who I really care about, but you're incapable of thinking of that. And so I think in a lot of cases it's not a selfish thing at all, it's a mental block. It's like a disease, and the way it kills you is it forces you to kill yourself, but sometimes it is just you're not in control. The biggest thing though that I want all of you to know is that a lot of people talk about how it will get better, and I think when you have a mental illness you need medical help, and changing your thought process won't necessarily do anything. So what really helped me throughout my entire depression is that I knew that I would find the right medicine, the right medicine's balance, and it might take a long time, but eventually I would become completely stabilized, normal, back to myself. There are 23 antidepressants. I researched it. There might be more, though I might have missed some. And there are 18 different mood stabilizers and antipsychotics used to treat bipolar. And so if you have bipolar, that's over 30 different medicines. In treating major depression and bipolar, they can do cocktails of medicines, use several ones, constantly be changing the dosages. Worst case scenario, it might take years until you get on the right medicine or able to get rid of it. But just think that right now, the derealization thing is awful. It feels like you are not fully cognizant, alive, you're not actually in reality. But this is not permanent. One of my best friends had depression, and the reason he killed himself is because his medicine did not work, it kept not working. And I feel like I'm understanding of people in situations like that. If one of my friends killed themselves for that reason, I wouldn't be mad at them, because I understand how it would feel if you constantly are trying more and more and more medicine and it's not getting better. But I am confident that for every single person, there will be a medicine combination that will work. You might have to combine it with a certain type of diet that's high in omega-3 and other nutrients you need. You might need to have a really specific cardio workout routine, a really strict sleep schedule, and again, it might take years, but you will get better, you will get past it. One example of someone in a situation like that, Rick Warren is a pastor of a megachurch. He wrote the book called A Purpose-Driven Life. You may have read it with your church, I did, and their son killed himself because he had depression for years and years and years and years, and they just were not able to treat it, and he constantly struggled to get past the suicidal thoughts, but it just eventually got to him and the illness killed him. But I have hope for all of us, for all of you, if you're going through depression right now, because there are so many different medicines and your brain is so unique, but there are so many options. And so just wait, just hold on. And if you cannot afford treatment, you do not need to go to a psychiatrist. You can go to a general doctor. You can research the medicines, tell them which ones you want to go on, and maybe right now you cannot afford medicine, but in 3-5 years you may be able to afford medicine. And I think it is worth being in the derealization for a long time if in the future you can live decades of your life without the depression. And in the last video I made, I'm gonna link it below and it's gonna be on the end screen, I talked about ways to treat depression if you cannot get on medication. Exercising every day, eating really healthy, sleeping, avoiding alcohol and caffeine. There are so many ways that you can get through this, get over it, that don't even involve medicine. And so I think that you should logically have an extreme amount of hope that you will be able to get past this. So how to help a friend, and I might make an entire video just on this, but I think the first thing to know is that you cannot immediately invalidate it, get angry, like be so strict, stern that they not do it. You need to talk to them about it, talk through it. They've done studies. It has been proven that if you talk through your suicidal thoughts with someone, that you are extremely less likely to go through with it. And so if you have a plan and are seriously considering, talk to one of your friends. And if you have chronic depression, then right now reach out to your friends, tell them what to do, how to talk you through it so that they can be prepared in advance. So if you are a friend, ask questions. Ask them, why are you thinking of killing yourself? And just listen, and ask them how they're thinking of doing it. Has this occurred in the past? Just have a conversation. And instead of talking at them, just listen and listen and listen, and have a proper response other than a cliche that it will get better, that their life is worth living. Explain to them the medicine and help them get treatment, help them set up appointments, make sure that they eat and work out, bring them to meals, bring them food to their house, work out with them. Helping someone get over suicidal thoughts, get through depression, a lot of it is just doing life with someone, being next to them, near them, spending a lot of time with them, helping them get out of bed, encouraging them to take a shower, bringing them to the gym. Eating, sleep, and exercise, besides medication, are the absolute most important things with depression. And so that's how you can help a friend get over this. Keep seeking treatment, taking care of your body, trying out different medicines, reaching out to your friends, and I have linked below my playlist to all my videos about depression and bipolar disorder, so go watch them, educate yourself more so you can better know how to treat it. And I love you guys so much. So many other people in your life love you, value you, and I don't even think you realize how many people you are encouraging, impacting, loving, how much happiness you're bringing to so many people around you, even though you don't realize it, you can't see it, because a lot of times you feel outside of reality or outside of your brain. Other people are experiencing you fully here, and so just know that in advance, prepare for all these thoughts, and make sure to always call suicide hotlines, the ER, call the list of your friends when you absolutely need help. Your life is so incredibly valuable, and it will get better because we're living at a time where there is so much psychiatric treatment. They're doing more and more research. As we keep going on, months and years, they're gonna have even better medicine, understand depression even more. And so just wait and be patient and have hope that the medicine will work, hopefully sometime soon. And the depression you're in right now, the intensity of it is not permanent. You will get out of it. I wish I could be in each of your lives to work out with you, to help you get out of bed, to help you get on a normal sleep schedule, and I would cook for you. I would make you eat vegan so you could get enough omega-3, enough healthy carbohydrates. I would listen to you, and we could cry together, and we could be in Bible study, small groups together. All these people I love were able to be that person for me, even if they didn't fully realize how much they were helping me, loving me. And make sure to pray so much. Pray for God to send you people to help you. I think that's the most important thing. This is the longest outro ever, but I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!